Hello everybody. Today I'm here to pick a bone with every teacher that has ever asked me to annotate anything. Not really, although I would like to have a stern talking to many of them. That is not the purpose of today's video. Today I'm here to teach you what it means to annotate. And I'm also sat by my beautiful pet fish, Pish, so please enjoy his good vibes. One of the most common yet poorly taught reading skills, in my opinion, is annotation. In all my years of being in high school, which is only 4, not a single year went by that I did not have a teacher ask me to highlight a novel with different colored highlighters to show setting or character development or a word I didn't know or whatever else they decided that I needed to highlight. And surprise, surprise, I never did it. Up until I was in college taking writing and rhetoric 2, wow, that's a tongue twister, I thought annotation was dumb and useless and pointless, and up until then it was, because I didn't know how to do it, I didn't know why I was doing it, and I wasn't doing it properly. So today I'm here to share my knowledge with you that I've gathered over the years on annotation and how to do it properly. I do want to say one thing though, and that is that the system I'm going to share with you may not work for you in its entirety, and if it doesn't, that's okay. I want you to do what works for you. So if you like using color coordinated highlighters, use them. If you like reading the document multiple times and looking for different things each time, great, I want you to do that. This is kind of just a starting off point to show you what process I use, and maybe if you're lost and confused, you can start with this process and then fine tune it to make it your own. But with that being said, let's get into the meat and potatoes. So my process for annotation started very simple and slowly scaffolded onto itself as I grew to learn what I needed from my annotations and what worked best for me. I began by summarizing in a few words, and I really do mean like a few words, in the margin of what each paragraph had said. This does a few things. It allows you to make sure that you're actively reading and making sure that the words aren't just going in one ear and out the other, and it serves as a way for you to come back to the document and find exactly what you're looking for more quickly than you would otherwise without those little annotations. And then I started highlighting, and highlighting is an art in and of itself, but before you start highlighting, you need to know what you're going to highlight. So before you start reading something, make sure you know what the purpose for reading it is. And if you're not sure, then ask your teacher or your professor. And then once you know, go in and highlight the information that adds to your understanding and knowledge of the reason why you're reading it. So if you're reading a novel, chances are you're reading it to understand the plot and understand the things that are working for the plot. So things like character development or motifs or the story arc. If you're reading articles for a research paper, you're reading those articles to find information that adds to your understanding of your research question and helps you answer that question. So in order to pick out the information that adds to your understanding of the larger task at hand, you need to know what that larger task is and what that information is. And this is going to be something that looks different for everybody and every single assignment. So this is going to be something that you're fine-tuning over time. But once you do fine-tune it, it's going to be one of the most valuable skills you have in your toolbox, because you can literally apply it to anything that you read. And then I started adding more stuff in the margins, and honestly, this can really be anything. I can add notes that relate to concepts that I've read in other places, especially when I'm writing a research paper. I write things down about themes or symbolism or setting, things that are important to the plot. I'll write down definitions of words that I don't know or concepts I'm not really sure about. Basically, I write anything that comes to my mind, because it's always better to write everything and have everything there than not write everything and possibly forget something that could have been useful later on. These are a few examples of what my annotations tend to look like, but again, this is me, so your annotations are going to look different than mine because your brain works differently and you need different things out of your annotations. I don't mess around with color coordinated highlighters or anything like that because it just doesn't work for my learning style. But again, if it works for you, then use it. The most important thing when it comes to annotation is to find something that works for you. So find those skills and hold on to them. But the second most important thing is to find something that's efficient, because if it's not efficient, it becomes tedious. The way that I annotate doesn't take any more time than it would to just read the document normally. And that's important, otherwise I know that I won't do it if it takes too long. When you begin annotating something, it's very important to have a game plan. So when you go into reading something, know why you're reading it and know what you're going to be looking for and possibly how you're going to be marking it. And oftentimes I will write this information at the top of the page so I can refer back to it if I ever forget or get lost or confused, and I find that to be really helpful. I hope that this was somewhat helpful. I know that annotation can be a little bit overwhelming and confusing for some people if they don't know how to do it, but it really is one of the simplest techniques you can use to help your reading comprehension. But the problem with simple things is that when people aren't taught how to do simple things, they become really hard things. So hopefully this made a possibly hard thing into an easy thing. But with that being said, thank you so much for watching and spending some time with me. I know this is a little bit different than what I normally do, but I know some stuff about this stuff, so I thought I would try to be helpful as much as I can. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time I do this. Goodbye!